Hello and welcome! According to the video game industry, mostly Nintendo, video game emulators and ROMs are tools of piracy and should be illegal since it hurts the video game industry. But here's the thing, emulators have been legal in the US since the 2000s. So what about the ROMs to play on those emulators? Are they legal too? Is there a way for you to play your favorite games of yesteryear on your favorite emulators today? And the answer to these questions, we'll have to delve into copyright law to find out. Check out our games from us at 16-Bit Games, like Invaders from Space. Survive as long as possible and get the high score as the endless wave of enemies slowly make their way down to you. Play it today for free from the Apple App Store, Google Play, or the Amazon App Store. Before we begin, a bit of a disclaimer. 16-Bit Video Game Review disapproves of any form of piracy and does not encourage or endorse it. I am not a lawyer and this video is not meant to be seen as legal advice. It is meant for entertainment purposes. Finally, this is all based off of the literal readings of copyright laws for both Canada and the US. So if you live anywhere else like Europe, the laws might be a little bit different. Well, that said, are ROMs legal? And the simple answer is of course it is. If you own a disc or a ROM cartridge or quite literally any other form of a game, you already own a ROM. If they weren't legal, you wouldn't be able to play your games in the first place. The legal issue here isn't if owning the game was legal. Whomever sold it to you had to have the right to copy and sell that ROM in the first place. The issue is, how do you legally get a copy of a ROM that can be used by emulators? Now, most people just assume that if they already own a game, they can legally download it from any website because, well, they already legally own a copy, so they're entitled to a second copy. But as it is correctly stated on Nintendo's website, this is not true. This is piracy, and it is illegal. But there is some truth to this claim. If I was to take the game apart and look at the raw data, the ones and zeros that make up the game's data, and compare it to the ones and zeros from the one I downloaded from the internet, you'll find that they are completely identical. But the legal truth is that website is breaking copyright law. The website is distributing a game without the copyrights from the owners of the game, and as a result, it is considered piracy. The only legal way of downloading ROMs from the internet is if the game is in the public domain, or if you get it from the copyright owners themselves, like with classic collections from Sega or Capcom. But we're not asking if buying a game is legal. Of course it is. But I can't use the ROMs on this game on whatever system I'd like. Plus, I already own Mega Man 2. So why do I need to buy it again to play it on a new system? So how do you get a ROM then that can be legally used on whatever system you want? And the answer to that question is you need to make your own ROMs from the games you legally own. But legally, what you will be creating shouldn't be referred to as a ROM. In Canada, you will be creating a backup of your computer software, or as I'm going to refer to it as, a backup copy. And in the US, you'll be archiving your computer software, or an archive copy. The reason this works is because video game consoles are just specialized computers, and games are just the software that runs on those computers. And by law in Canada and the US, consumers are allowed to protect their right to access their legally purchased or obtained software from unforeseen circumstances, which could cause the software to become either corrupted or unusable. But archive and backup copies aren't without limitations. Legally, you can create a backup or an archive and make 1,000 copies on Chrono Trigger on a USB drive. In theory, this can make me the richest gamer on Earth. But legally, I'm the only person that's allowed to use them. I'm not allowed to sell these games or distribute them. Heck, I'm not even allowed to share these games. I'm responsible for each and every backup or archive that I made, meaning that even if one of these specific backups or archives ever leaves my possession, I'm legally liable for whatever happens to it. And if they can link it back to my backups, I am financially responsible for any and all lost sales. You can still do whatever you want with the originals, like sell it online or share it. But if you do, legally you have to destroy all backups or archive copies you create. And if you decide you wanted to keep them anyways, well, you've just pirated someone else's game, and it's no worse than downloading it off of the internet. And for my rule of thumb, because of some muddy and unclear wording, treat your backups or archives like they were the real game. So if you only have one copy of the game, that means you only have one license of the game to play. Even if there is nothing stopping you from playing the same game on multiple consoles, you should only do that if you have multiple copies of the game. So, there you have it. ROMs are, by the letter of the law, legal, just as long as you make them yourself at home. So, why not try it at home? If you have some old disc-based games, a computer, and a DVD drive, try backing them up yourself. It's really easy, and it's a really good way to preserve your gaming library without resorting to piracy. And for those non-disc based systems, there are creative ways for you to back up your ROMs at home too, like using an R4 on the Nintendo DS. And if you have the cash, you can get yourself a Retro to 9L Retro, but I can get into more details in a future video for each individual system. But anyways, thank you ever so much for watching this video. I hope you find it entertaining, or at the very minimum informative. But anyways, I hope you have yourself a good day, and as always, take care.